Hello!
Welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue!
And I'm Macaulay Cunningham.
Oh, wow, it's the master of disguise himself that's in the room with us.
It's a Dana Carvey, am I right here?
Oh
boy.
Okay, so
And we're starting off on a good foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Today
some racist stereotypes.
We finally...
Wait, you can't be racist against Italian people,
Yes,
Colin.
this is true.
That's the rules.
This is true. So I can just do it whatever I want then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, mamma
And as
mia.
we all know, there's no racism in Canada, right?
It's true.
No.
Solved it all.
Just joking.
Hey, it's the convoy!
oh boy. So a lot of people have mentioned this movie to me for this podcast because it really
you're walking
is
down the
kind
street,
of
people are
known.
like, Master of Disguise, April, you gotta do it.
You gotta do it on the podcast.
It's pretty well known as the worst movie ever. And
I don't know about that, but
I don't
I'm
know
going to
about that.
start this off by saying it's not as bad as Son of the Mask 2.
Wait, I love Son of the Mask. I was
think that's
hoping
the
that
best thing I
April
can
was
say
going to come
about
into
it.
this podcast and be like, you know what? I kind of like Master of Disguise. A little disappointed you didn't, April.
she did not.
No, I didn't like it.
No.
And Colin, this is all your fault.
This is my pick. Yeah, this has been on my list. I keep a secret list of movies we should do on the
secret
podcast.
list.
Yeah, well, it's on my iPad notes. No one's gonna see it ever. I have to show my face ID
Why?
to
Filled with
get a
pornography,
scan.
Colin.
So yeah, this was on the list. I've never seen it before. Just the image of him in the turtle outfit just came into my head, and I
Well, I
started
think
laughing.
that me and April were probably the ripe age to see a million ads for this when it was coming out.
Oh, I
just
mean, me too.
endlessly.
But
Every
I've-
morning,
you know,
9/11. Let's get it off our chest. Everyone knows this trivia about this movie, that when they shot the turtle scene, 9/11 happened, and they had a moment of silence with the Turtle Club.
Okay, this is not true according to the IMDb trivia.
No.
Yes,
It's urban legend?
It's a long-running rumor that they found out about 9/11 while they were shooting the scene. But
Yes.
what actually happened was the movie started shooting September 24th.
Oh.
And the very first scene they shot of the movie was the turtle scene. So it's almost even
You know
worse
what?
because
When
the director...
fact becomes a legend, print the legend. That's what I say.
The director... It's kind of almost worse because the director gave a big speech to the cast and crew, and they had a moment of silence before they started shooting.
Okay.
And Dana Carvey was in the turtle outfit.
Okay, so it's kind of true.
Yeah, it is kind of true. But,
Yeah.
if 9/11 happened while they were shooting it, they'd probably stop shooting, right? I guess it's $1 million movie. It's like,
I didn't even go back we didn't even go home when 9/11 happened. We finished our school day and went back to school the next day, too.
I was just talking about this yesterday, and I didn't even know about it until I went home. But my coworker was like, they wheeled a TV into the library and showed everyone.
Yeah.
And then everyone went home.
Oh, it's crazy. I was at work at the time, because I was an adult.
An older man.
Older man.
Yeah.
My roommate.
And they were
called
like,
me.
we're going to war! Sign up, Colin!
Sign up, Rico!
Yeah.
Dun, dun. Are you doing your part?
I want to be a citizen.
So, a friend of ours, I think, worked in one of the Twin Towers. She worked for Bloomberg.
Oh, no.
I don't know if it was in one of the towers, but I woke up to my roommate saying, what building does she work in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, check out the TV. And I ran out and holy shit.
Wait, you
Was she
woke up?
okay?
Were you napping at work or something like that?
No, I was asleep. This is before I went to work. And then when we
When
got
did
to
it
work,
I thought it happened in the middle of the day.
I was a late
It
sleeper.
was a late shift.
Okay.
So a late sleeper, but
The
no,
late,
it had
VFX
happened.
shift.
Yeah, exactly. So and then when we got to work, it was all over. Everyone was watching on the TV and stuff.
And they were like, get back to putting Wolverine's claws on, Colin. We got to
No,
continue
this is
working.
before that. And then they laid a bunch of people off. They always use these excuses to lay
No
people
way.
off.
Oh,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on.
It's the market is dipping because of 9/11, and then they just get rid of people.
We were feeling the repercussions of 9/11 to this day, but especially in this movie, which came out
Jesus.
Wait, where are you going with this,
one year
April?
later. I'm just saying, movies.
April's
were
like, we
in a
should have
weird
never pulled out of
place.
Afghanistan.
Movies were in a weird place for a while around this time.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
this
early
is a movie.
2000s.
If it wasn't shot during 9/11, it was done after. The nation wasn't ready to laugh yet, right? Which
No,
would
no.
explain the movie.
It would explain why it was such a failure.
But didn't I remember it was at Pearl Harbor came out right after 9/11 or
It's
on.
bad timing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
probably December season, right? Then,
I can't
or
remember.
maybe a summer? No, if it was right after.
But it was a huge bomb, and they blamed 9/11. That's pretty a lot.
I mean, look at the movie, my friend. I thought that theatrically. I was doing my due diligence.
When I watched this movie,
This is your Pearl Harbor?
I was reminded of Pearl Harbor and
Wait,
9/11.
no. Pearl Harbor came out May 25th, 2001. So
What the fuck?
If they were blaming it on 9/11,
They're like, they're still not in the theaters in September to see it.
They would use any excuse to explain why their movie bombed, not because it looked like a piece of
Who,
shit.
Michael Bay?
Yeah, probably.
I want to watch Pearl Harbor again now. All 4 hours of it. or
No,
however
it's
long
not,
it
is it?
Now that's one I've never seen. So speaking of long movies,
Coming soon. No fish is a bad movie.
this movie is apparently only like 69 minutes with like 10 minutes of credits.
It does
Yeah.
not feel 70 minutes long.
I know.
It feels much longer.
Like 2.5 hours.
And I walked away like probably midway during the credits.
You're
and
like,
I thought
where's Colin? And then he's
Yeah.
like through the window,
And
just
I'm
a little
like,
shape
no,
off in the distance.
I was like putting a noose on the ceiling. But no, I was in
Turtle?
I was in the back just like going through the IMDb trivia for the movie, and April kept saying like, it's still going.
Still
It's
They
happening.
legally have
going.
to reach a certain amount of time before
Just
they
when
can...
you think it's over,
Jesus.
and they do bloopers and a million deleted scenes,
Yeah.
there's still more.
You can tell there's so many scenes cut from this movie,
Mm-hmm.
just at how little sense it makes narratively.
Now, before we get into the film,
Yeah.
I'm going to be straight up. I said this in other places. I never watched SNL when I was a kid. I don't have
Really?
an SNL period. None of my friends
Okay.
watched SNL. So, like, Dana Carvey is someone that I know from Wayne's World and
Right.
this.
Really? Wow.
Oh, and the Dana Carvey sketch show, which
Okay.
is very funny because famously it had so many soon-to-be famous people like Stephen Colbert.
yeah, there's a good documentary
Louis
about
CK,
that.
Oh, okay.
I think it was called "Too Funny to Fail" or something.
Yes.
but it's a fascinating story. I did watch SNL, although when he was on was a little before my time.
Yeah.
But I still saw lots of clips floating around, and I always thought Dana Carvey was very funny.
Yeah, he was my
Master
SNL.
impressionist, as we learn in Master of Disguise.
He was my like SNL guy growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was him, it was Phil Hartman, Mike
Phil Hartman
Myers.
is so funny. See, that's one of the things is that like I watch old SNL episodes and I go,
Mm-hmm.
I probably had to be there. But anytime a Phil Hartman sketch, the glue of SNL.
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
like, oh,
He is.
yeah, he always delivers.
But yeah, that was my team. It was like Carvey, John Lovitz, Mike Myers.
John
Lovitz-
Lovitz!
John Lovitz was there.
Not
He was
a
kind of on
cast-
the he was
not
on
a
the
cast
tail end.
member.
Wait, on your list, is High School High there, Colin?
What was that?
The John Lovitz starring film High School High?
Oh, is that when he plays like rhinestone cowboy at the school dance?
I think so. It's
think
a
it was-
parody of like
I've seen
Dangerous
that.
Minds and things like that.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot he was a cast member. I thought he was just a guest star.
Yeah, no.
Silly me.
He was kind of before, I think, Carvey maybe, or just sort
Around
of like
the same time.
Around the same time.
And,
Yeah.
you know, he did like Church Lady. That was a big deal.
That was Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Lovitz was like, the line.
Yeah, what was
guy.
John
Yeah.
Lovett's characters?
The lying guy, he'd come on Weekend Update and talk about, my wife.
never seen any of those kids.
That's the
Wait,
ticket.
I always thought that High School High was like a bad Zaz film, even though I loved it when I was a kid. And I'm looking here in the credits. It was a Zaz production. Well,
Was it really?
some of them. It was written by David Zucker and Pat Proft, and
Okay.
was directed by Hart Bochner, a Toronto, Ontario, Canada guy who also, he's mostly an actor.
I've heard of Hart Bochner.
yeah,
Can you believe it? I don't know why, but
That
What
sounds
has
like a
he
fake
directed?
name.
It does sound like a fake name.
That sounds like a pistachio disguisey name. Like
What's
a
funny about
character.
that is that I remember watching it as a kid, loving it, and probably not getting a single reference in the movie because I didn't know like what any of
wait,
that stuff was.
this movie or High
No,
School
High School High.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
I saw Master of Disguise and I loved it when I saw it. Even
all
though
those
the
references.
flew over my head.
this movie. The big problem with this movie is that it doesn't know if it's for kids or for adults.
Kids love Bo Derek, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
like they all.
man.
I guess you could
I
say,
guess we can
oh, well,
jump
there's
into it,
something
'cause
for
that's
the
how the
whole
film
family.
starts.
Well, also, I just want to say this film is just an excuse for Dana Carvey to do impressions, and they're all terrible. And the movie is incoherent.
Isn't
really
Dana
is.
Carvey supposed to be good at impression? What is going on here?
I don't know because none of his impressions in any way affect the story. Like they don't.
And you think that these would be like his good ones. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, they don't make that much sense, but people are really excited to see Tony Montana at this party.
The one I did laugh at was the Quint one. After if it's completely nonsensical,
it's so random. Yeah,
and every like disguise in this movie is A, so random, B, does not help their situation in any way,
and C, racist in some
oh
some
yeah
cases.
there's
I
some
will
cases
say that like I did like it when it would get really kind of absurd, where he would like suddenly dress as a cherry pie. I was like, oh, that's amusing. Like that's really over
That
the top.
is kind of a funny idea.
Which, because I was recently listening to the man who created podcast, Conan O'Brien, because he has his podcast, and he was doing a kind of series where they read the script that Dana Carvey was supposed to. What are the bodybuilders' names that they were on?
Oh, Hans and Franz.
Hans and Franz are supposed to have a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger said, write a Hans and Franz movie. I'll star in it as myself. And then they wrote it and they gave it to him, and he was like, I don't want to be in this. And they're like, you're in half the movie if you're not in this.
So
and it was written by like Conan O'Brien, Robert Smigel.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have been good.
They read the script. There was a lot of funny stuff in it. And it was
Okay.
that would have been like early, like 92, 93, I
Wow.
think.
Yeah.
So that would have been funny. This is...
He's like, no, I've got to do Last Action Hero.
like, what is Dana Carvey... I mean, I know why he's making this movie. Because of a little man named Michael Myers. But,
Yeah.
like, he's way too old to be playing this role.
Oh, for sure. And this was funny because in the trivia it was saying this was supposed to be his grand return to the screen because he hadn't been in movies for quite a
Wasn't
while.
he in movies like Blind Luck or something like that? I'm trying to...
It was something after this, so...
or Blank Slate? That's what I'm thinking
yeah,
of.
I think that's the one. So he had
I think
taken
he
a
has
break.
amnesia in that movie.
He had some like health issues, so he took time off.
Oh, he did? That's sad.
Yeah, I think he had some heart issues or something. He had surgery, so he couldn't be in movies for a while.
Yeah, they're
and
like,
this was
you
supposed
can never
to be his,
do an impression again.
yeah,
Like,
this
but
was
that's
supposed
my
to be
bread
his
and butter.
grand return.
Clean Slate.
it's
People are
his-
yelling at me. That's what the movie was called.
It's supposed to be his star vehicle.
Yeah,
Happy Madison should not have been involved, although
Well, this is a like full-on Happy Madison production. Is
Yeah.
Dana Carvey kind of part of the Happy Madison team? He's not in
don't know.
many of their
I don't
movies. Oh, I
think
see here
so.
he's in Jack and Jill. He's in Little Nicky. So his role in Little Nicky's terrible.
Who's he?
He
I
plays
don't
like the
even remember
referee.
Oh, okay. So I guess he is part of the crew. I mean, obviously they know each other from SNL, but
Yeah.
like he's not in as many as
No.
I
No.
recalled.
But he said that he came back with this movie. This was his grand return to the screen. It was like reviled and like hailed as one of the worst movies of all time. And then his follow-up to this was Jack and Jill.
Yeah, that was at least a little later, right?
This was directed by the Bo Welch of the Happy Madison Company because the director, I think this is his only feature directorial
Yes.
credit.
Yeah.
He's mostly known as a production designer. From every Adam Sandler film, from Billy Madison to now, he's still the production designer.
Yeah.
People don't know Bo Welch worked a lot with Tim Burton and infamously directed The Cat in the Hat.
Oh no!
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So that was the thing, yeah. So as Perry Andalin Blake, he said, "Hey, I want to direct," and Adam Sandler's like, "Great, no problem." And then Dana Carvey was like, "Yeah, no problem. I don't want anyone to rein me in. I just want a director that wants to have fun."
There you
It's
go.
like, there you go. That's why nothing in this movie makes sense. It's just like it just feels like we'll stick him in a costume and then he'll just improv for like 30 minutes.
And then there'll be like a horrifically hyper detailed piece of production design, like people being covered in spaghetti. And,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah.
oh God, I have to look at this for so long.
Yeah,
Why?
and then you'll have like a wacky transition where the narrator will explain what they're doing next.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad visual
Pistachio
stuff in this.
and-
Although, I mean, to give him credit, there's some production design that looks okay, like the attic with like the Rube Goldberg thing. I was
Well,
like,
yeah,
it's
this
pretty
is a
much
Tim
over
Burton
production
movie?
design, 'cause that's
You're
what he knows
right.
how to do.
You're right.
Yeah.
Overproduced.
Yeah, he's a
art directed.
He's a director that's he's coming from production design. It's like one of those CGI guys that starts directing. Of
Yeah,
course,
and I'm going to talk.
Which we,
more
as we said,
generally.
always works out. Never a
every
bad movie from a
every
CGI
single
guy.
time.
Now, by the way, I hate the color correction in this movie. I know you all
Oh,
want
the color correction corner?
April's color
Well, what do
correction
you not like
corner.
about it, April?
Well, it's too blue. First of all,
No, it was just
all of Brent Spiner's stuff has been cranked to blue, and they blew out all the whites. And
Why Brent
I-
Spiner? Do you think they want to make him look more like Data? They're like, crank those whites. We need that Data
For
bump.
some reason, they decided his character's thing is blue. They
Yeah,
gave him
they've
blue
got him
contacts,
wearing blue contacts.
and it's ugly. And like some of the other, like the opening, like
Now, was
the
I'm
scene
Blue
opens-
really popular at this time? Is that why?
I don't know, but he wears like blue
should've played
shirts,
it,
blue
yeah.
ties, blue
in a
pocket
blue
squares.
house. Wait,
And then
Eiffel
he-
65's Blue, Dabba D. When did that come out? When was it a hit?
I think it was
1998.
Yeah, so it was a lot before then.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
But we were still singing it. Let's be
I'm not
honest.
saying this whole movie looks like crap.
1998. That's far too late to be a reference in this movie. You have to go back 60
with
years.
The film with Bo Welch,
Bo Derek.
Bo Derek.
Bo Derek.
Bo Welch would be very different.
Bo Derek, and then she transforms into like, what's his name? Brolin, James
James
Brolin.
James Brolin.
It's like, oh my god,
Now,
the kids
Bo
are gonna love
Derek's-
this.
Was Bo Derek's thing to have the braids for?
That's
yeah.
a movie called 10.
That's right. It was like
where she
her
comes out of
look.
the surf, and it's a movie where
right.
Dudley Moore really wants to have sex with her. That's like the whole
Yeah.
point of the film, directed by Blake Edwards.
Yeah.
People don't really watch the movie very often, but that kind of like sexy Bo Derek
Yeah.
with the dreads has become a iconic image.
Yeah, so why not open a movie for 9-year-olds with that?
I
Well,
know.
they
that
opened the movie
reference.
with many centuries ago,
Oh,
a
God.
remarkable family began to practice the magical art of disguise. And this is in like Harry Potter font.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it cuts to kind of an interesting opening credit sequence where with a book that's separated into 3 sections that flips pages.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
And that's okay.
Dino
So is James
Stamopoulos.
Brolin in this movie because they wanted kind of like that Pee Wee Herman kind of feel? Because he does appear at the end of Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Does he really?
Yeah, remember in the movie that Pee Wee Herman that's about his life story?
okay,
It's
okay.
him that's in it.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
would
he's
say
like,
yes.
he's like, I gotta, I gotta get back in with the kids. What are the kids
Yeah.
like these days? Dana Carvey. All right.
I am so embarrassed for everybody in this movie, particularly Brent Spiner, because I mean, yeah, Brent Spiner's not
Brent
some big
Spiner has the
superstar.
funniest joke in the movie.
yeah.
It's true,
He has
but
a
like,
couple.
he's the
I kept
Alan
watching
Cumming
those
of this
scenes
movie.
trying to be like, did they do this after the fact and he didn't know and he just let the take go on? But
No.
we'll get to that when we
Yeah,
get
we'll
to
get to it. But I got to say, first of all, my favorite thing and my favorite character in the movie is Harold Gould playing a grandfather disguisee. I think he's giving it his all, and he's one of those old timey actors. I think he was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Harold Gould.
He's got like 200 credits. He's been acting since the black and white days. And he's giving it his all. You can tell that he is a professional actor. He's not beneath this material isn't beneath him. You know what I mean?
Well, you're jumping way too ahead, Colin. I know you want to get through this, but
Okay,
we're going to go
sorry.
scene by scene
Oh no!
of the Master of Disguise.
Oh, you're turning it around on me.
I know. Now I'm becoming Colin on this one because, like, the film opens.
Please no.
This is the most backlot ass movie you've
Oh my
ever
God.
seen.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I was getting like the Mask vibes
Yes.
from this backlot city.
And
mask is
Dana
good.
Carvey is a grown man. And right when the movie starts, you know you're in trouble because of a number of things. We're introduced to Dana Carvey wearing a whipped cream beard, dressed in a
Yeah.
blanket. Who is he supposed to be?
I have no idea.
Wizard.
With underwear
Wizard.
on his head. And
Yes.
we're not sure if this is supposed to be like a running gag because his dad's like, I hope you don't have underwear on your head.
And that
that's it.
doesn't lead to anything. They
No,
just
it
show
doesn't lead to-
flashbacks of him doing that as a kid. And
then
think
there's a flashback of it. They're like, you wouldn't follow rules when you were a kid. And then he's a baby and he punches the doctor. That's not even a joke. Like, what is that?
the issue with this is that there's things that they thought was funny that they put in this movie, but they don't connect to each other. So what does slapping people have to do with being a master of disguise? Nothing.
It's just a
But they
random
thought
thing.
that would be funny,
You know why?
and it's stupid.
I know why.
Why?
Because he wanted to do a movie for his kids, his 9-year-olds, and apparently
course.
the studio told him that he could only slap people if you punch too many people. It has to be PG-13.
Oh, is that why later on they're like, you have to do it with an open hand when you hit
yeah,
people?
they said you can only slap people, and the only way you can punch people a lot and not get a PG-13 is if their faces are covered. So he fights ninjas at the end of the movie.
So it's all based on getting a rating for his children.
Now, this movie, when Dana Carvey opens his mouth and he has an Italian accent, I was like, this is not going to be the whole movie, right? Like,
know.
He's going to have to...
That's what's so bad about this is that the most annoying voice of all is this character's quote unquote real voice.
60-year-old man doing an Italian accent.
Okay, he's probably like 45, but I think he's supposed to be playing like a 23-year-old.
I think they say 23, but
he's the same age as his mom.
Yeah, he acts like he's 12, and he has this like kind of weird.
Well, that's
bowl
like
cut.
the man-child taken to the extreme, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Adam Sandler did that. That's Pee Wee Herman's shtick, and it just ain't working with Dana Carvey, a man who's one of his main traits in the movie is he loves huge butts.
Yeah.
He loves them
because they remind him of his mom.
Adam Sandler, like in Billy Madison, though, I think was at the
Adam
most.
Sandler
30,
does the voice in Billy Madison, doesn't he?
No,
I
not
think
really.
he does his little like.
Yeah.
Well, he does it at times.
Kind of. All
like,
I'm saying is
yeah.
the character.
Ooh,
He's at least a
shabba-doo.
little closer in real life to the character he was portraying.
Oh, well, we know, as we
portraying.
talked about Adam Sandler recently, that's who he is in real life.
Yeah,
like, he
pretty
drops
much.
into that voice at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, but you're right. Martin Short, Dana Carvey, is playing like
It's easy to get both of them confused.
playing a man-child.
Well, he looks like Clifford. You said.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I wish I was watching Clifford. Now that's a movie.
Where we were not sure. I'm like, okay, is he supposed to be playing a kid in this? We don't
Yeah.
know. But then, he says he's 23 later.
So there's a scene in this movie where a kid, I don't know why he keeps showing up because he doesn't really do anything in the film.
No.
But Dana Carvey befriends him, and there's a scene where he's like, "I'll make you feel better," and then he just does some lines from Shrek, and the kid stares at him blankly. I like that
God.
scene. That's funny, and that's
just-
clearly Dana Carvey like angry at Michael Myers because I think that we're on the outs at this point.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
isn't Michael Myers like a jerk?
Well,
I
yeah,
don't
he's a
know.
huge jerk, and people like Dana Carvey. But the thing about Michael Myers as well is that he kind of stole, Dana's shtick when he made Austin Powers. Specifically, his impression of Lorne Michaels as Dr. Evil.
Okay,
Yes.
I was getting an Austin Powers feel from this, and apparently, I think the third Austin Powers came out a week before this was released.
The third
Wow.
one
I
was
thought
out
this-
in
Golden
I didn't even
2002.
think about that, but I was like, oh, the first Austin Powers must have just come out, right?
No,
Dana
no, the
Carvey's
first-
trying to, nope,
first one
way
was
later.
was
This is
99.
2002,
Or
which
maybe
is
even
insane.
97.
This
You
feels
know
like
what?
a movie from
if
like
only
the early
Dana
90s.
Carvey had that Midas touch of Jay Roach, the director of the Austin
God,
Powers
yeah.
film,
Yeah.
soon to direct an Ocean's 11 prequel.
No.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh no.
Jesus. Well,
Oh,
I'm glad he's
God.
doing well. But yeah, I didn't like this kid. I was like, get this little kid out of this movie. It was funny that he kept hurting himself, but then it just made me think of a much funnier movie,
Freddy Got Fingered?
which
Yeah.
we just
Oh,
watched
that was
recently.
really funny.
And also the grandfather, he's no Rip Torn.
No.
He's not. He's
it's
not.
kind of a similar.
He's got the same
performance, though,
energy. It's
right?
like grumpy, and he's like telling
he's
people.
angry.
He's like insulting people. I kind of like that. But yeah, it is. Pistachio kind of like likes this. I don't know, girl that hangs around his father's restaurant, and then like she's walking away, and her ass is so wide it knocks over the sandwich board. Which,
That was kind of funny.
which the kid.
Yeah,
the
I
kid,
guess.
The
Big
kid then
ass
trips
humor.
over it. Yeah.
And then you see Pistachio in the restaurant, and they're doing like Jerry Lewis stuff, where he's like a good waiter, he's dodging stuff. That's physical comedy. And then we learn that, and this never really plays in the rest of the movie, that Pistachio can be hypnotized by people, and then he starts imitating them against his will.
He can't
Yeah.
help it. It's like his latent
But
talent.
that never
is-
comes up again.
No, you're right.
I think it happens a few times.
Oh,
throughout
does it?
Yeah, he does it with Jennifer
boyfriends.
Esposito's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Right.
And then one other time, it's like he can't help himself from mimicking people. You
a
see,
problem he
you see it
has.
as a kid when he's like mimicking the teacher and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
then
There's
when
a
you-
lot of flashbacks in this movie to
And
really
then-
get that imitation or
Yeah.
disguise ratio up.
But then we get his friend waiter.
You mean America's
insurrectionist?
Patriot.
Insurrectionist
Jay
Jay Johnston.
A very, very funny man.
From
Yeah,
Mr.
he's
Show.
very funny, and I was happy to see him in this because
You were happy to
he's
see
funny.
him get on those steps of the Capitol and try
I
to
wish he
take
just.
it down.
I wish he fell down more.
It is funny because in the IMDb trivia,
yeah, I'm telling you, everything he's ever appeared in
it
has that
mentions
trivia.
it mentions how he was arrested for the
Did
January.
someone
6th.
go through
Yes.
all of his
They
IMDb
must
trivia
have.
and add that?
They must have.
That's wild.
It's
If people
so
don't know,
funny.
Jay Johnson, he was arrested because he was there on January 6th at the nation's capital.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when that photo was going around, they're like, hey, it looks like the Mr. Show guy. And his friends were like, yeah, that is him.
Yeah, too bad.
Unfortunately, he got into like drugs and...
And yeah, he went through some rough times, but he is a funny comedic actor, and he's like
he has one
barely
of the
in
best
this.
sketches. The Climbing of Mount
The
Everest
Story
is one
of
of the funniest
Everest.
sketches
Oh
of
my
all
God.
time.
course.
That is just.
I was recently listening to, I wonder, was it Bob Odenkirk's biography? Or they were talking about how they did it in front of a live studio audience, and they did it again and again of like the same bit where
and then having to set it up.
Yeah.
Like all
Yeah,
the time.
I had to
then,
reset
like
it.
the audience kind of like stopped laughing. They're like, they're doing this again?
Because they do it, I think, 7 times.
Yeah, it's
Everybody
insane.
look Everest, Mr. Show. You will find the sketch.
Yeah,
and
it's so
very
funny.
funny.
Somebody did a really funny clip where they took inside the Capitol footage from January 6th, and then it pans over, and then you see him in the background falling on knocking over the thimbles. It's so
they're like
funny.
CGI.
Yeah, they just comped him into the shot in the
Oh,
background.
that's really funny.
It's so funny, and it's so small that you're like, "What the hell is that?" it's really good.
Well, he will never do the voice of the Italian eatery in Bob's Burgers ever again.
Oh well, you can do
Jimmy
it from prison, I
Pesto.
guess.
Okay, so...
So yeah, we get we're sort of like said at the beginning as Grandpa's narrating that James Brolin doesn't want to tell Dana Carvey. He's like, "This is too dangerous a life for my son, so I'm never going to tell Pistachio about his destiny to be a disguisee."
Classic story setup
Sure.
And
does-
then James Brolin gets kidnapped.
by Brent Spiner.
Yeah.
Who was in jail. There was a bit of a cold open.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have to get into it.
We get 2 Tony Montanas for the price of 1. Because at the beginning, when Bo Derek escaped, Brent Spiner's dressed as Tony Montana.
Yeah.
I
'cause-
thought that was a Saturday Night Fever suit.
Well, it's kind of it's supposed to be 1979.
They're similar suits.
Yeah.
And he has like this weird like goatee and like dark hair, of which I've never seen.
And Brent Spiner
look.
has only one comedic game that he plays in this movie, is that he laughs and then he farts.
Yeah,
And that's
although
it.
Probably the best joke in the movie.
Yeah, he
I
has.
laughed every time it happened.
It does. Yeah, it's funny, and they evolve it. There's like a little kind of
Because I don't think do they ever acknowledge it in the movie other than them like awkwardly like staring at each other after it happens?
No, he does like a big Mr. Evil.
Do you think
laugh.
Brent Spiner had a like George C. Scott? Like he's sitting there, he's like, they used the end of the takes and they added a fart. I never knew that was happening.
No, because they kind of they evolve the bit. There's one part where he kind of laughs up to a point,
Yeah, he's like, I'm
and then
not doing it.
and then he doesn't fart, and then he's like,
He's about to say something and then he farts, and then of course at the end where he's running and farting. I mean, that's the funniest one, of course.
And so, of course, we're getting a little tired here. There hasn't been a reference in a while. So a car pulls up, and the Exorcism theme plays.
Of
And it looks
course.
like The Exorcist.
and the 9-year-olds are there hooting and hollering and clapping
and
in
that's
the
it.
theater.
There's no, that's it. It's just a reference. What is
It's
this,
not
Family
even
Guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not even someone dressing up as the. No, it's just a reference within the movie.
He just kind of
for
has
no
a case, but yeah. So yeah, all the kids
Well,
are.
it's for us. We were laughing.
Oh, they're fist pumping, going, "Yeah, The Exorcist, man!"
New Exorcist coming out this summer. I
David
think it's
Gordon
already-
Green, man, he's gonna do it again.
Looks awful.
I thought it was a TV series.
I think it's a movie. I don't know, dude.
So at this scene, we meet
Harold Gould.
and he explains the history of the disguises. And I gotta say, I did laugh at one of these flashbacks, and they're bad because they're just very absurd, which I like. But there's a sequence where it's like, even Abraham Lincoln, we had to replace him because he was uncharismatic. And it's like Abraham Lincoln is giving a speech, and then he's like, I don't know.
He's losing
Then
the
Dana
crowd.
Carvey comes up, gives him a high five, and then I want to move it starts playing, and Dana Carvey just starts dancing.
It's like a sub Funny or Die sketch. Like, I gotta say, I'm
laughed
not pointing
because
the.
it was
I'm,
so
not,
lame.
I'm not trying to blame you, but Colin, you did laugh at certain points during this movie, and I really didn't.
I was laughing at how bad everything
Yeah,
is.
how lame it is.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I just,
Like, I'm not laughing at the comedic, meshing.
that's
of,
a good
I want
joke.
to move it in Abraham Lincoln dancing.
I just.
As like the marching band is playing.
I needed way more alcohol to watch this movie, and I had none because we
then
watched
you wouldn't
it
have
at
remembered
11
it, and you
in
would
the
have to watch it
morning.
again.
Yeah, but at least I
Exactly.
would have enjoyed it.
See, that was my
maybe
reasoning.
a little more.
That was my reasoning.
But you do it cold, sober, in the early light of day.
Maybe that's the secret. That's why April loves all these shitty movies. Is because you
Yeah,
know,
that's right. Colin watches it twice to like get his notes down and everything. April watches it once.
Once
just
drunk and, like,
completely wrecked.
Having dinner, so I'm full and happy. I've got a glass of wine. You know, when I would like to watch bad movies, not at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but that's not reality, man.
Yeah, but that's not how it works. You know, the filmmakers, they want you to watch it with your full attention.
I always give it my full attention. But it's hard. It's hard this morning paying attention to this movie.
It's hard to take
I want
notes.
to move it. I want to
This
move
movie
it.
was trying my patience. Put it that way.
So yeah, Grandpa is like, that's why you start mimicking people, blah, blah, blah. Grandpa goes into the other room, and then it's a funny gag. He comes in, there's like a maid cleaning up. It's Grandpa.
Very funny. This is around the time when Steve Martin, I was going to say. Who is this guy's name? Dana Carvey.
Carvey? How dare you put Steve Martin's name in Dana Carvey's head?
It cannot stop talking, and it's supposed to be funny, but
Yes.
it's just annoying me because it's annoying the grandpa, and I just want him to fucking shut up.
It's just like the joke from Austin Powers. He's like,
Yeah.
Scott, shut it.
Yeah.
Shut it. You're up. Do this.
You're
Zip
not
it.
wrong.
Zip it. It's just like, okay, fine. Are we doing that joke? And then he gives him it's like this book. It's like the Disguisey Way. It's like,
What's with all the Illuminati symbols in this? Something
April's really going to crack this code.
Well, something
my
that
God.
Mike Myers would steal way later in that.
Wait, did you watch that?
We watched half of the first episode.
it is
That's
one
all
of
we could get
the
through.
worst, most unfunny things I've ever seen in my life.
talk
And
about
What? But Keegan-Michael Key in it. He's never in anything
I
bad.
feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was shockingly bad.
Just
Is on
so
Netflix.
unfunny.
The Pentaveret.
Oh, it's
people.
just the worst.
Anyway, so yeah, there's pyramid symbols with eyes all over this movie. What was up with that?
It's a secret, whatever.
Secret society.
A secret society
it's not
of
even,
disguises.
It's a secret family of disguises.
A secret disguises
Disguises.
society.
Well, don't worry, April. We'll get your laugh back up because it's another montage.
It's a
of
montage.
bunch of disguises.
Yeah, this
Okay,
was bad.
now this is one of the many songs that are in montages that specifically talk about the movie.
He's the master of disguise.
Yeah, there's 3 of them in this movie. That has to be some kind of record.
But this is like a rap that you play at the end of the movie that talks
Yeah.
about the movie's plot, right? It's like master of disguise and
He's
Italian
gonna get
food.
disguises and fool people. And
Yeah,
it's like a rap, and then later there's
He's
like
the master of
an
disguise.
alternative, like a Weezer-esque sounding song.
There's like 3
and
or
then there's
4.
one where there's like a dance grooving one.
You know what? They probably got a bunch of different versions, and then Dana Carvey's use them all.
They're like, no one wants to use license their music for this movie. We're gonna have to use the original track.
Here's the thing: Master of Disguise, true anti-comedy. People just don't get it, like the Dana Carvey show.
Or the Chevy Chase talk show.
Yeah, where you see him throw a basket, then it cuts to a close-up of the basket going in.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I
I guess
watched.
you had to be there.
I watched that show when it aired.
Regularly?
So you were there.
Yeah.
Now, were you a Chevy Chase guy, Colin?
Yeah, back in the day, sure. And it was 3 Migos I love, but
I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not.
yeah, great. Hilarious. And then he trips over something. But I watched it for maybe 3 weeks, or I don't know, maybe.
I mean, isn't
I think that's how long
as
it
long
was
as it
on.
lasted?
Yeah,
It did
yeah.
not last very long.
Yeah, I recorded it maybe not, because it was on every night then, right?
A
Yeah.
late night
Yeah, okay.
show.
And you wanted to
yeah.
record it because you wanted to be able to rewatch it.
Oh,
because of
sure,
your
yeah.
favorite moments.
Did record maybe 3 episodes, and then I'm like, okay, this sucks.
And he killed all those fish.
Oh, God.
What?
All the fish in his fish tank on his set, they kept dying, so they had to replace them every night.
Oh, God.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Even they were trying to
I don't want to watch this.
They didn't want to watch the show. They just
I'd rather be dead.
swim right into the filter or something.
All right, so
Well,
we're
I'm
let's get back
laughing
to this
already.
movie, even though
Yeah.
we would love to talk about something so much more enjoyable like the Chevy Chase show.
Fish dying. So after this amazing montage, we get, he's doing an Indian man. And you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey.
Here we go.
And it goes on forever.
So long.
Yeah.
So long.
That's why this movie feels longer than it is. The scenes are not short.
No.
Especially the ones where he's doing a voice.
because there is no script. It's just
Yeah.
put him in an Indian, I don't know, brown face or something.
Yeah, it's brown face.
Just let him riff, and then we'll just film it and whatever.
But don't worry, the next scene we meet our second big cameo of the movie. It's Canadian legend Ben Johnson.
Oh, no. Is that Ben Johnson?
Who?
I think it was, yeah, because they say, hey, Mr. Johnson, and then he runs away at the end.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to look right now.
Well, they get...
And
Okay, so the thing
I
is
hope
that...
it's Ben Johnson because I want to talk about him doing promos for Cheetah energy drinks.
For Frank D'Angelo's.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think it is. I think it was someone else.
I think it was somebody else. It would have been an American guy because nobody would know.
I think Ben Johnson was already kind of humiliated.
Yeah, this
by
was
2001.
2002, and I remember the Ben Johnson thing was in the 80s, early 90s maybe, because it was high school university.
Yeah, high school that it happened. I remember that too. Anyway, but this...
James Brolin, Brent Spiner basically kidnaps James Brolin.
Wait, that's weird because he says, yes, sir, Mr. Johnson.
Well, it might be somebody else.
It could be a different Johnson.
Yeah.
So Brent Spiner is getting James Brolin to dress up as different famous people to steal the Declaration of Independence, the Liberty Bell, etc. And he's got his wife held captive, and they're like, "We're gonna kill her if you don't help us."
So they just keep cutting back to this throughout the movie.
Keep getting back to celebrity stealing a thing.
Yeah.
And then they end up back in...
What celebrities? We got Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura stealing
Jessica
the Liberty
Simpson.
Bell.
Great to see Jesse Ventura. I mean, best part of the movie, right?
Well, this is funny because...
Remember, they're action figures, not dolls.
Not dolls. I got to go back to my conspiracy theory podcast.
Man, Colin Cunningham, cast him in a Master of Disguise style movie.
Oh, yeah. So the IMDb trivia on the Jesse Ventura thing was so funny. He was governor of Minnesota at the time. And apparently it was a really bad time in Minnesota. They were like, September 11th attacks had just happened. They were on the verge of losing their hockey team. And they were introducing new safety measures because of September 11th, and nobody knew where Jesse Ventura was for like 2 days.
I'm on the set of Master of Disguise.
I guess he probably signed an NDA.
He kept it secret and didn't tell anybody, and they were like, where the fuck is he? Like, we need him to do his job as governor, and he was off shooting Master of Disguise.
And he's in one tiny scene. He had to be gone for 2 days for that.
They shot for a whole week, April. He needed to get it perfect.
They had to,
Maybe we could do another take of the fart gag.
Yeah.
Sometimes he wouldn't even be shooting. He just came on set. He liked to see the movie making process happen.
So let's meet Jennifer Esposito.
I feel so bad for her in this movie.
Yeah. And you can tell she's just trying not to laugh.
You don't have to try too hard not to laugh.
She was laughing in the bloopers. But yeah, it's just having to act opposite this character is a nightmare.
Insane.
And I feel terrible for her.
Yeah, she's
she's the love interest.
She's the straight woman. She's very likable. I don't know, I know her from stuff. I just don't know what I know her from.
She's in a lot of TV. You probably don't know her from movies because unless you're a big fan of Paul Haggis's Crash.
She
also is I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is her second most popular credit.
No, okay. I don't even remember that.
He Got Game, SOS, Summer Sam.
I think she's been in
The Master of Disguise.
CSI.
Well, she was on The Boys.
She was in a CSI, wasn't she? Or are we thinking of someone else?
Or NCIS or something like that. I think she's in one of these, and she's been there on that show for quite a while.
Yeah, she's probably in
apparently she was in The Boys,
Hawaii
but I honestly don't remember her from The Boys.
5,000 episodes.
She was I looked her character up on The Boys. She was a executive working for the secret society that was against the Soups that was hired butcher, and then they had a previous relationship. She was in 6 episodes.
A first season?
1 and 2, I think.
Oh, weird.
Or maybe just 1. But
barely
anyway.
She was also in 47 episodes of Spin City.
Oh,
unsure
I did watch that
if
a little bit.
It was the Michael J. Fox or Charlie Sheen period of Spin City.
I never watched the Charlie Sheen
Barry
period.
Bostwick.
He was very funny on that show.
He's great.
Just Shoot Me. Another sitcom I would also watch when I would get home.
Starring David Spade.
Oh, I thought you were saying what the audience said when they saw this movie.
Master of Disguise.
Please.
Yeah, so let's go to the Turtle
So
Club
he hires
scene.
Jennifer
Pretty funny,
Esposito
right?
as his assistant, and then she finds a clue. These cigars are made at the Turtle Club,
and this is the first disguise.
This is the only thing that
Going
people
hot.
remember from this movie.
It was
so
in
true.
every advertisement.
Yeah.
It's on the cover of the movie.
And I'm pretty sure I saw a picture of him. Did he show up to the premiere dressed as the turtle guy as well? Because I
don't know.
I saw a picture of Dana Carvey in the turtle outfit on a red carpet at some event.
Maybe this is, he just wears it day to day whenever they ask him to come.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is a scene that, you'd be excited to do this at the Turtle Club.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird. It's not connected to anything else.
No.
And it goes on for so long.
And it just seems like some weird idea that like there was a real turtle club, and then Dana Carvey was like, what if someone showed up who looked like a turtle, but he's not acting like a turtle, because then he would be moving slowly. And then there's this weird thing where magic exists that only happens in this scene in this movie.
Yeah, so at one point they start making fun of Dana Carvey, and then he hides in his shell, comes out, bites a guy's nose clear off. The guy has no nose, and then he spits it back out, and it just goes back on the guy's face. Dana Carvey laughs and then spins on the ground.
Yeah, and then
the scene
we're
fades
out.
to the next one.
Yeah, end of scene.
I feel like that
I
scene went on for
rewinded
like...
it and I went, wait, what?
Exactly. It makes no sense. But like with every single scene in this movie, you know it went on for like another 15 minutes, and then they're trimming it down.
Yeah, and then in the credits you find there's like 5 scenes that were just more antics and more characters that they just cut.
Yeah, and they just
Thank
stick them
God.
in the credits.
Yeah.
It's like we can't...
Because they want to go out and laugh. People want to remember the movie.
But and he's like, hey, what's that scene? What's that scene? Who's this character? More
Hey,
characters.
we completely
more
forgot
characters.
a major character of this movie, the wooden dummy that Dana Carvey has to scream, "Who's your daddy?" at.
Oh, God almighty.
Yeah,
I did like the
Who's
design
your
on this
daddy?
dummy.
What is the root of "Who's your daddy" as a saying?
Well, I mean,
knows?
there's a big
Colin?
sexual connotation.
Yes, but like as a use of slang,
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm looking it up
Maybe
here.
kindergarten cop. Oh, no, that's
the
who,
phrase
that's who
dates
is
back
your
to
daddy.
What?
1681,
Wow.
when sex
1681.
workers would use it to ask each other who their procurer was.
Oh.
See, it is related to the
It has
sex industry.
been attributed frequent use in suggestive skits broadcast in the 1980s by radio shock jock Doug Tract. Well, now we know.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
It doesn't look like Master of Disguise is mentioned here, which it should be, as one of the major tentpoles of the use of
Oh, yeah.
"Who's
That's where
your
it really
daddy?"
took off. Everybody was saying it after this movie. That and...
Yeah, it was like, oh, behave.
I would behave
Well,
and like turtle.
What were people saying after this movie? There is this is what
why
what
did I
you're
spend
doing.
that
This is
time
what I want
watching
you to
it?
do. I remember the talking.
I'll tell you
mouth
what people were saying after this movie. Hey, I want my money back.
They sure were.
They were going to the manager.
Yeah.
So after the Turtle Club scene, we get like his next disguise. This is like sub-assed, earnest Dame Edna shit.
Oh, yeah.
Is it the older woman?
It's at the
Yeah.
I was
antique...
like, this is a Mrs. Doubtfire reference.
Yeah,
That's
they,
what I thought.
They go to the Antique Roadshow, and again, it has nothing to do with the scene that they're in.
Nothing happens, and then it just cuts away.
You know, I kind of thought this was one of the funnier ones, I guess. I mean, I guess the Al Pacino one is a little funny as well, but it's more just like, what are you doing? But well, I guess we'll get to that.
But it doesn't like it doesn't solve a problem that the scene has. You know what I
No,
mean?
he's causing problems.
Jennifer Esposito is there talking to Brent Spiner, getting an invite to his like mega mansion auction that he has. And Dana Carvey's just there in this outfit doing nothing.
Yeah,
She's-
and like getting in the way of her doing her job.
yeah, she keeps pushing him out of the way. And
Yeah.
it's just so annoying. He's just annoying. And it's like, why is he here?
And who thinks this is funny?
Dana Carvey.
I guess that's
Yeah.
true. He thinks it's funny, otherwise he wouldn't do it.
Probably the director. He's just like,
I sorry.
staring at the
What I was
production
saying is,
design.
I don't think this is a funny impression. I thought that this was like a good, probably the best example of him like disappearing into a character.
Yes.
Because he's got like old age makeup on.
Yeah, it's a good voice. It's
It's
like,
a good
okay.
voice and a good costume.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
It's no Scarface.
No, which we get in the next scene when he
Yeah.
goes to the party, and he's just he's like doing, what is this? Like
More
he's
brown
on like
face.
throughout, and at one point he's just dancing on stage.
It's like Tony Montana didn't do that. But whatever.
In the trivia, it said that he wanted to do an extra 12 minutes of the Scarface scene, but
12 minutes.
Adam Sandler and the Happy Madison people had to rein him in like
You don't say.
12 minutes of this.
What was that? Maybe it was like Silent Bob and the Rake, and it would have gotten funnier the more time we
I
spent
have
with
the
it.
feeling it's just him riffing with all these. Like I'm thinking of like
Sideshow Bob.
Ace Ventura, or he goes to that hoity-toity party in part 2 or something. But,
I was thinking of Ace Ventura throughout this, and I was like, man, what a better movie.
oh yeah, but it's probably just more of him dancing on stage, I bet.
Yeah, and I was like, he wasn't even really doing lines from. I thought he was gonna say like, say hello to my little friend, or say he never says that.
He does.
Does he say it?
Yeah, he opens it when he has this little like shrunken head thing.
Oh right.
He's showing to.
I missed it.
Just the worst.
And then in the next scene, he gets chased. He hides as a poop on the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
at least he's creative.
That's funny.
He hides out his quince. They chase him
Quince
to
from Jaws.
They chase him to a lake.
We're in like impression overdrive in
Yeah.
this last
Oh,
period
yeah.
of the movie.
Overload.
I gotta say, I laughed at the quince thing. It was probably his best impression in the movie.
But just like no connection to anything.
No. He's just saying lines right from Jaws.
Yeah, like I felt like Family Guy or something.
Yeah, and he's in like the orca, and it's just like a tiny little like rowboat.
And he just says lines from Jaws. There's no spin on it. There's
Yeah.
no like.
I'm like, okay, he steps in like cow shit, one of the goons, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah, and then it's him.
Is it
as
gonna be
shit.
like eyes opening up in the cow shit? That would be kind of funny. But he just stands up
He
and
kind
then,
of lifts.
Oh, like he's like, or something like that. Yeah.
and then it turns
It's
into like a Beatles like montage where he's getting chased down the street.
A reference for the
And
kids,
down
right?
the same back lot we've seen a million
Yeah.
times.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
bad.
and then like he has to like, and I'm like, is this the same day? Because he goes back to the mansion, and Esposito is still there, and he
Yeah, he
comes
dresses
in as
as
two
like
more
a
characters.
Yeah.
He's like a Bavarian
As a,
tax collector.
Sure.
Which is horrible. It's a horrible character and a horrible impression.
Everybody loved it on SNL, Colin. What are you
goons-
talking about? The Bavarian tax
Bavarian
collector.
tax collector. And then the goons are like, wait here. They go to get Brent Spiner.
And when they come back, he's a new character.
He's a new character.
He's a British. Isn't
Like-
his name like Mr. Suave or
I
something?
think so. He's like a British spy or something. And it's like, okay,
The accent was kind of fun, I guess.
the goons don't react, don't say anything. And then they let Jennifer Esposito go with him. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, fine, sure, why not? They're at an Irish bar, and I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, is he going to do some Irish
Is he gonna be a leprechaun?
Oh, man. That's what we missed out
I guarantee you
Doesn't
that they
happen,
shot
yeah.
something.
There's like footage of him
Oh,
as a
yeah,
leprechaun,
yeah.
like
Although
doing a jig.
They probably would have like put it in the end credits if they did.
Martin
that.
Short appears as a leprechaun in that Brigadoon TV show. Or Schmigadoon.
Oh, God.
So there you go.
Oh,
saw that.
that musical thing.
Yeah.
Poor.
Speaking of Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, poor Key. Keegan-Michael Key.
Listen, he keeps working.
I know.
mean, he's got his next big role in, oh, God, the Willy Wonka movie.
Yeah.
Good luck.
That must
just like-
be.
I wish he's better. I don't know.
I
I'm sure he's
just-
getting paid well.
I feel so bad for him. It's just like Jordan Peele's career. It's just gone in this other direction. He's winning Oscars
it could
and
be
shit.
by his own choice, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, he could have gone down the Oscar route. He decided he just wants to make people laugh.
Yeah, but it's just I feel.
But he's
bad.
in not things that aren't very funny.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
there's got to be that's
Yeah,
got to
you're
sting.
just quibbling.
That's got to sting.
So, I think this movie might actually be somewhat almost over.
Yeah, well,
No, we
This
got
ve-
20 minutes
we
left.
got
very
we got
little-
Jessica Simpson appearing.
There's very little movie in this movie.
This is kind of a funny gag where they're.
I know so little. I was like, that's Britney Spears, right?
I guess.
She's kind of dressed like
Jessica
Britney Spears.
Jessica Simpson, she's stealing the lunar module from Apollo 11, which is pretty funny.
And then there was, like Chekhov's gun. Dana Carvey was given a ball
Yeah.
that will help him in his hardest times, which is just his grandfather's head in a bubble.
It's
At
like a
this point,
hologram.
I'm like, what drugs am I on? He goes, it's supposed
What
to be.
were the people making this smoking?
It's supposed to be a joke because he goes, I'm a hologram, but then like the kid runs up and he like looks at him and is like, hey, get out of here.
It's like the both of you shut up.
There was a funny line where he says, hey, look, a talking baby about the kid. This is way earlier. That was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
funny.
that was funny.
It was funny and mean.
He's like, go home and get your mommy to change your diapers.
Yeah, and then Dana Carvey comes out. He's like, talking baby, goo goo gaga, hello, hello.
Oh,
He comes
boy.
out to ruin it. Yeah.
Now that would have been a funny, disguise. Disguise him
Like,
as
he was
a
a
Hey,
baby, and then he
baby.
morphs into a man.
Oh, God
Yeah.
almighty.
I'm sure the deleted scene. Did we watch the end credits close enough?
I watched like a third of them apparently because they went on for 20 minutes.
Kept going.
Yeah, okay, so he sneaks into... so Brent Spiner's having a black market auction. What is it, like Black Mark eBay?
Mark eBay. And Kevin Nealon shows up briefly. Wish he had something funnier to say.
He has like
The Franz are Hans of Hans and Franz.
That's right.
He has like one line.
Yeah, nice to see him, though.
Pistachio disguise. He sneaks into the mansion dressed up as a cherry pie, which is kind of funny.
I like that.
I like the
especially
cherry
later
suit.
on.
It's more absurd. I wish they did more things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they catch him and they're like, "How'd you know it was me?" And then they point to his feet and he still has like cherry
shoes.
It is kind of funny where they can't grab onto him because he's covered in like gooey cherries. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
I do like the gag when he comes out of the cherry pie and then the dog sees him and faints.
Yeah. Great dog acting there.
The dogs are always the best actors in these movies.
And then we get the big climax of like,
It's just in this
Pistachio,
like tiny
pulls
warehouse.
his underwear off at one point and puts it on his head.
There's like a
See, he comes back.
Kenan Thompson shows up briefly.
For like one scene.
Kenan Thompson. Does SNL have like blackmail information on him?
I don't know.
He can't leave.
Well, he had a sitcom that I watched.
Those contracts they're wide reaching.
Yeah, I mean, but this is 2002, so yeah, it's like anyone calling the favors, anyone who's on SNL,
who wants to be in a movie?
Be in my movie, please. And then in the credits, it said Kenan Thompson as himself. So I guess Kenan Thompson was playing himself.
They caught him like it was like just a camera in his room.
Yeah,
He didn't know it
it's
was
just
on.
so weird.
Bidding on this stuff.
Brent Spiner, I don't know, it's a funny gag. He's just running away farting, I guess, because that's always funny.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my favorite
everybody
part.
in the audience who's a Dana Carvey fan, though, is sitting there going, "How can the movie be over? We haven't gotten the best impression that Dana Carvey does." And then right at the end, here it gets unleashed. George W. Bush.
Oh, the crowd is going nuts.
And he's not even famous for that. He's famous for
he
George
is.
Senior. George Senior.
Didn't he
is
do
he supposed to be
W?
George Sr. in this scene?
He was not on SNL by the time George W. Bush was president.
Ah.
He wasn't still on SNL in 2002.
I'm pretty sure he... Well,
No, but he
yeah.
came on and did
I'm
it.
sure
George
he
H.W.
did.
Bush. Yeah.
No, George H.W.
Yeah, H.W. That's what I meant.
Okay, he's doing W
But he
here.
can still do W. I'm sure he came on as a guest to do W. I'm just saying his big thing was
Herbert Walker
yeah.
Bush.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say? Not that funny
Yeah, it's
in the
whatever.
context of this movie.
No.
Brent Spiner's in like Costa Rica or something
Oh, wait,
like that.
I just saw who did a bunch of special effects. I'm just looking through the credits here.
Kevin Yeager?
Kevin Yeager,
Yeah.
a famous horror guy, did
who
so
did
much on this.
Chucky?
Which
You
explains the Turtle Man.
In the credits. And there are so many expensive things they cut out, like him fighting a giant animatronic dinosaur.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
that
what
was
that's
insane.
Like. He does like a Forrest Gump.
Him pretending to be a ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, but all of those are just in front of the same backdrop.
I have a feeling that they shot their scenes with them,
these
and
screen
then
tests?
they just did some extra stuff in front of the same backdrop or something like
They
that.
had some extra money, so they're like, wardrobe, makeup, let's just do some funny things.
It might have been something where they were just like, okay, we cut the scenes these characters were in. Let's just get you standing. So they just did it all in one day. And just like
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through and
that's
like
kinda what it
bang,
feels
You
bang,
should
bang.
have watched all these end credits because it reveals that there is a little guy, bald guy dressed like Mario
Yeah.
in the wooden dummy.
What is up with
Which
that?
is insane.
And the final shot is the dog, his lips moving
Yeah.
the way I love, going turtle and then falling over.
And the dog starts talking as if like
Yeah.
someone is dressed as disguised as this dog. Also, during the end climax, which is kind of like a Star Wars thing, more magic happens with James Brolin's face, where the disguise just disappears.
He kind of slaps it off of his face, and it
like just like magically wipes.
Because I
it
think
off.
James Brolin is hypnotized as well, isn't he?
Well, no, he got so into the Brent Spiner
Oh,
character.
the character,
'cause
Yeah,
he's
there's-
such a good disguise.
there's that magical energy you can harness if you're a disguisee,
Yeah, it has some dumb name.
where you become the
This is all
character.
set up. We would have seen it in the sequel if the people had understood the genius that they were witnessing.
Yeah, but
boy.
whatever. As with most,
boy.
masterful works of art, they're not appreciated in their day. So we have to give this 30 years before people.
Too funny to succeed. The story of Master of Disguise.
That'd be so funny if, like, in 30 years, people look back and like, yep, still not funny. There is a funny gag when they,
I I think that's what's going to happen, Colin, because at this point we're more than 20 years out of Master of
still
Disguise.
not.
And it's considered one of the worst movies of all time.
It's still, get to the 29-year mark and we'll revisit it.
I gotta say though, I hated The Mask 2 more, and I think it's
No,
because
I would watch Son of Mask over this
I
any
hated
day
all
of
the
week.
unpleasant animation and the gross, like
I
the
love that
scary
animation.
looking
The
baby,
baby.
and the dog. I
think I would watch this again because it's 80 something minutes.
Yeah.
It's 60. I could leave after
This
69.
was better. This was
and not
better.
watch the credits. But there's
Disagree.
okay, so did you guys say, I'm saying that the grandpapa was my favorite.
Yeah, I said what my favorite thing is. It's when he bites off the guy's nose.
fart joke is all
Yeah, there we
mine.
go.
That was pretty
That's
funny,
it.
yeah.
There's a hat trick.
You got that.
Anyway,
There you go.
I'm sorry we watched this.
Hey, whatever.
But you know what? We just got a new kitten, so our lives are full of love right now. Just gonna put that out there.
That looks like the old kid. You trying to replace him?
No, our current
The
cat,
old one was getting too big
That's what
to
we said.
cuddle.
We said to Sailor, we're like, see this? He's replacing you.
No, our current cat likes him, and they are getting along.
They chase each
Oh,
other.
they haven't attacked each other?
No, they chase each other around.
Oh,
They're
that's good.
playing. So yeah, no attacking. So yeah, cat update. But Master of Disguise is on Netflix if you want to watch it.
Yeah, check it out.
I wouldn't recommend it.
When is it going to get the
Definitely
4K remaster? It's like still in HD.
You got to release a bunch of commentaries and an essay about the movie, and all that good stuff. Dana Carvey.
The Master of Disguise is how we felt after the tragedy of 9/11.
That's right.
I'm just imagining just him in a turtle suit doing a moment or a minute,
Of silence.
a moment of silence,
Yeah.
and then apparently, right after the moment was up, the director was like, "And action." Then he hit turtle. Oh my God! Well, there you go. I can scratch that off my secret list.
So if you want to email the podcast, we're at no such thing as a bad movie at gmail.com. And we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky at no such thing pod. Consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/no such thing as a bad movie. If you subscribe at the $5 level, you get access to over 100 bonus episodes. We've got commentary tracks. We just released one on we just released a bonus episode on Talk to Me last week, which is a movie that's in theaters. And we're also about to release a Q&A episode. So if you want to hear us talk about things and answer some questions, consider joining the Patreon. And we have older Q&As posted up as well. And if you want to find me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky at April Atmansky.
You can find me at all social platforms under DeCloux, DECLOUX, and the letter J. And every week on the Important Cinema Club podcast.
I'm on Instagram and Twitter, Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA. Also on Blue Sky, I think, is Sergeant Zima. You can also find me as Pistachio Disguisey.
That might be the worst name I've ever heard.
I mean, it's great. I love saying it.
Pistachio Disguisey.
Disguisey.
I am disgusted by Disguisey. Those two things go hand in hand. So that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Turtle.
I'm April Atmansky.
Turtle.
I'm Colin Cunningham.
What?
I'm Master of Disguise.
Oh, and I'm Justin DeClue.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.